Right, and this one's more gonna just talk about how hard work doesn't pay off, and it doesn't. Never has, never will. People can tell themselves that it does because they manage to see results from it and things. But I'll be honest, the less I worked, the more results I got at a better and higher rate. To be honest, like your ability to work less and produce more is definitely worth more than working hard and producing the same or producing less. Like most of the time, it's a production of less. I think the beauty in an online business and a business in general is being able to actually apply your mind and do little things that have like great mass impacts. And a lot of people struggle with that because I think they know that, or at least they've been sort of conditioned into believing that hard work pays off. And not to say that because I'm here in Nigeria, I see that it doesn't pay off, but it generally doesn't. Like people can get up and put in 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 hour shifts doing the hardest work imaginable in the beating sun, and they have nothing to show for it at the end of the day because just, I would say, circumstance. But yeah, just that's just not, it just doesn't work. Like you can put in as much hard work as you like, you're just not gonna get back, I guess, what you supposedly deserve for that. And I guess I could go into it the same way other people do and say, oh, the hard work and all that doesn't have as much value as, I guess, the not so hard work. But again, the not so hard work is actually hard work because if it wasn't, everybody would be doing it. But I'd say it's definitely easier to just do hard work than it is to actually just sit and just think and apply your mind into something to make it work better. Um, and for an example I have would be training. When training someone, the idea that you can just, if you just train them for hours on end, that's worth something more than someone who just goes, all right, how can I best train you? Like spends a couple hours going, how can I best train you? I guess the example would be like two people with an axe chopping down trees. One of them spends a whole day chopping down trees, the other one spends a whole day sharpening the axe, and then come day two, that person who was chopping down trees a full day has chopped down 100, and this other person has maybe chopped down one or two by the time they finish sharpening the blade. However, day two comes around and they've chopped down 500-600 because they spent that much time sharpening their blade, sharpening their tool, and doing the not hard work, rather than just going straight in and putting in that hard work, which a lot of people I think find glory in, to be honest. And I've never necessarily found glory in it, to be quite frank. Especially seeing people around me work hard and not getting anything for it or not seeing anything for it, and then people not working so hard and getting a lot from it. And I decided, I was like, well, if these are the two options, I think I know what I'm going to choose. And this doesn't mean turn around and be lazy and not do things. However, I think a lot of the time your hard work isn't as important as you think it is. Like spending like your time into the night, as I used to do as well, like just through into the night, just working hard, you'd have been better off just going to sleep, and you probably should just go to sleep and tackle that in the morning, and even just spend an hour to just thinking about, all right, how best to go about this, rather than just, yeah, let me just hit this head on, and because you're just going to cause yourself damage and stress, to be honest, and it's not worth it. The only thing that's worth it is doing little and getting a lot for it, and again, perceived little, because it's not as if you actually do little. Like it just seems that way, as if you're doing nothing. Same way with when I would cut weight for boxing and things. Like the perception was I just do it quick and easy, and I'll be honest, it was quick and easy just because of the way I did it, and the way I did it was quite harsh. However, I've also now realised and seen other ways of doing it, which are much easier as well, for one, much easier, and have the same, if not quicker, results, to be honest. And that just took a little bit of time of just, I guess, going through the harder work, and getting to a point where I managed to distill it more and go, okay, this is how I would cut weight if I was to cut weight next time. And even picking up and learning things, like people would try and do and like force themselves to just learn that specific thing, whereas I would do it and then just sort of forget about it, focus on something else, and then come back to it, and then I would sort of get it, because me putting that much focus and energy on that thing, trying to work as hard as possible to try and perfect it, never ever worked. And I think that just comes down to, I guess, putting too much importance on it. Like you're really just focusing on that one thing. Versus when I would just be like, right, cool, this is how you throw it, this is how you do it, cool. Let me just go and do something else now, and then come back to it later. It's almost as if, again, and I'm sure there's a reason for this, but it's almost as if it just sort of solidified in my head. By the next time I came round to it, I was just doing it perfectly. Same goes with cutting weight and things as well. Like I'd drop weights that people would probably see or think is impossible, and maybe you could argue it wasn't healthy and things, but again, I'd say I felt great during those times, and I don't actually like, again, I'm rambling a little bit here, but I don't actually like being sort of heavier and things. However, sometimes you do get there, and you gotta just sort that out and nip it in the bud. But anyway, work less, get more for it. That's the way the world seemingly just works. You get more for less. So do less, get more. Sorted.